Hey everybody, welcome to this month's video. So my name is Dan, and if you haven't seen one of my videos before, then welcome. If you've been here so many times before, then welcome again. I know that I need a haircut. I really badly need a haircut. I've been trying all week to book a haircut and it's not been the greatest success. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. So what have I been up to this month? Well, this month's not been quiet, but it has been a little bit more chilled. What has been really nice actually to have a little bit more of a chill. But obviously my normal things I've been doing is I've been doing food bank. What is great as always to be able to do that. I'm like really honoured to be part of that team. To be able to help people that, you know, are struggling or just need that little bit of support, and as a church to be able to do that, I think is so great to be able to have that opportunity to be able to support people in that way. Yeah, food bank has just been really good, and I haven't been doing it as much this month just because of having stuff going on a Monday. We've had a quick retreat and a staff day, what with some training and some fun together as a team, and obviously the youth weekender and some other things that kind of clashed on that day. So the days that I have been at food bank, it's been really great to do that and to spend the time with the food bank team that are there on a Monday. Talking about youth, as I've just kind of said about, obviously we've been in a new term with youth, and we've been trialing some new things, what have been going well. And this term I've been able to run a zone. So if I haven't explained what a zone is before, or if you haven't seen one of my videos, a zone is basically something that we do as a bit of fun, and it's spaces where people can go and do creative stuff. So this term, the zones that we've had, is the one I've been doing, what's movies and media. We've had a chill zone, we've had Easter zone, obviously being Easter, and we've had hearing God zone, I think it was, and what kind of tied in with what we've been doing this month in the teaching that we do at Cruise, and some of the feedback that I've heard about the hearing God zone has actually been really positive and a real growth for the young people that have been in there. What's a real positive. So what actually is my zone? Well, my zone is movies and media, and what we were doing is we were kind of going through I think it was 4 weeks, and the first week we just met and we chat and met each other, as some of the young people might not know each other, and we just chatted about what we're going to do. And what we were doing is I was giving the young people an opportunity to learn a little bit about filming and editing, and to also make new friends, but also to work as a team to make a film project, and we did a little bit of practical teaching about video editing and filming and about angles and focus and all that kind of stuff. And one of the young people was helping me do that. He brought his camera down and he was helping about what focus is and kind of about headspace and that stuff. And that, to me, that was so positive to see a young person who loves this kind of stuff, is part of the production team at church, teach and guide and mentor these young people. What is growth for his own journey, but as a leader running that was so positive to me to be able to see that and to help him, but also to push him a little bit with teaching young people what is not always easy, and sometimes, you know, you fail. I remember the first time ever I did some teaching, I failed terribly and was like, right, next time this is what I can do better. And it was just so positive to see that he was like really natural in it and was so encouraging to these young people with what he was saying and how he was doing it. And then the second week we did some filming, so they split off into their groups and they were doing filming for what their projects were going to be, and seeing them do it was just hilarious. One of the groups is doing a fight scene. We're at a church and they're doing a fight scene, you know, but they're filming, and what they did was so incredible. The young person that was helping me do some of the teaching and the filming stuff, he filmed like a short documentary about like the impact Jesus has in our life. Then one of the other young people did like a stop animation with Lego. It was so cool. And we had another group doing like, I think it was about a hot dog a sandwich. It was so random, but it was so funny. And seeing all them go and film and learn about like, oh, that doesn't work, let's have a look at a different way of doing this, was so incredible. And then the week after, they edited everything together. Some groups had already done it, so they kind of filmed some more, and seeing them put that together was really good. And then the last week, what was this week that I'm filming this, we met together as a group and we watched the videos, and just seeing the young people support each other and seeing what they've done out of it was so cool to see. General Sundays, what have I been doing this? So obviously I've been on the production and doing cameras and gimbal and all that kind of stuff. But obviously I've also been doing worship this month. What's been so incredible to be able to do worship again, and it was my third Sunday. And for me, I saw a personal growth of me drumming and seeing like how much my technique has improved over the past 2 Sundays of me playing, and actually being like dedicated to myself, going, okay, I need to do this better. I need to learn and push myself again to get my technique from where it is. And I just saw a push in my own ability of where I was, and kind of getting back to where I used to be, and going right, I need to push myself of going, this kick technique is not good enough. And just see my own growth in that, to me, has been really incredible. But also seeing God move through that and the journey of that, and kind of, you know, God's really been speaking to me in this season of playing at church again, of going, you know, like, Dan, this is something I've called and given you, and you have this gift to use to help people worship, to help people encounter me in worship, but also to encourage other people as well. So I just want to show you some videos from the last Sunday I played, and this is my in-ear mix. So it's basically what I hear while I'm playing. So here's some clips. 2, 3, 4. Also this month, I was at Hagley. Hagley is one of our other locations, and I was doing front of house, what is sound. Here's a video from that. Cool. I always love doing Hagley. It's like one of them like places where worship is just a different feel. It's that kind of, you know, community family feel that you have at Hagley. What I think is so incredible to have them two different like areas of what church can look like. At Hell's Owen, you know, we have one way of how we express with worship, and at Haggle we have another way. But I think to be one church, but to have two different ways where we express that, I think is so incredible that, you know, as a church we do that and we allow that, and that there's them spaces where different people can feel comfortable with their background of God or not having a background of what Christianity is. I think it's so incredible for a church to do that and to be open to do that. Hagley's always a joy. I love doing Hagley. So as I said at the start about our quick retreat, so that was basically, we was away for a couple of days in a house on a farm not far from Hell's Owen. And we just spent time having some practical teaching, and we had some worship. All of us as gap years, we led a devotion, and some of the devotions that people led was so good and so positive to my growth as a Christian and my journey with God. And also to see some of them that, you know, normally wouldn't do that, step out in that and do it so well, I think, you know, was so positive, and for me really encouraged me in a way that I didn't really expect it to. We also had a time of friendship what was so good, and we also prayed for each other and kind of said some things that we feel God is saying on our heart for us as equippers and as gap years. What was so amazing, and it was just such a good time of friendship. So that was so amazing. So I've not got much left apart from talking about what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks and would love prayer for. So I'm going to Spring Harvest twice. I'm going next week on Monday to Friday on holiday. Normally I volunteer at Spring Harvest Skegness on the production team, but this year I'm not, and I'll explain why. But I'd love prayer for that, for God to just move and to speak to me, and just for spaces to encounter his presence and to dive deeper into what he's doing in the journey that he's taking me on, but also the callings of my life. So I just pray that you pray for that, pray for encounter, pray for God to speak to me. I pray for guidance of what September's going to look like through this time at Spring Harvest. And the week after, I'm at Minehead, helping lead kids worship. What I'm so excited for, like I've never led kids worship, it's something new. And we had a band rehearsal today filming this, and not played with two of the people that are in the band, and it was so incredible to meet them, to make some new friends, and just to spend time as a lead, like doing worship together, and rehearsing, but not just rehearsing, but also worshiping God in that time. And as a band, it came together, and I'm so excited to do Spring Harvest. I've always wanted to do Spring Harvest. Like, yes, I'd love to do a youth venue or a main venue, but to have the opportunity to play in a kids venue at Spring Harvest, that I'm so excited for. And I know that God's going to speak through me and teach me some things while doing that. And to have the opportunity to do that is so incredible, and I'm so excited. So I'd love prayer for both of them. More prayer for in Minehead for leading worship, helping lead worship, and for the guidance for that, but also for the band, and also for Sam, who's our next gen pastor, for him leading the team for kids at Spring Harvest, to do it right, and what God is calling to do, to help these kids know who Jesus is, and that Jesus is a real person that came to the earth that wants a relationship and with them. So I just pray for that you'll be praying for the team for strength and for energy, especially as it's a long week. So that's it. This is pretty short, to be honest. I haven't really got a lot, and I'll speak more about Spring Harvest in the next one. But if you can just be praying for me and just praying for kind of peace and rest and guidance and all them things, that would be really great. And thank you for watching this month, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later. Bye bye.